Have you ever heard of the Trafalgar Way? It's a route running from Falmouth to the Admiralty in London. It's the route that some 200 years ago Lieutenant John Richard Laponnetiere took to deliver the message that victory had been achieved at the Battle of Trafalgar and that Admiral Lord Nelson, was dead. In 2005, a series of 38 bronze plaques were placed along the 271-mile route to mark it, but it's hoped that the route can become as popular here as La Route Napoléon is in France. That's why a short story competition is being launched. It's going to help put the Trafalgar Way on the map, encouraging school children to write their stories about an urgent message. It was launched today at Blisland Primary Academy near Bodmin, and BBC Radio Cornwall's Karen Stewart was there.
The Trafalgar Way connects local history with national history. It brings history to life in a really interesting way. What we say is, we begin with the story of Trafalgar Way and Laponnetiere and his message, and from there, hopefully that ignites a wider interest in history amongst children. I'm, first of all, going to take you back in time 200 years and talk a little bit about how...
I'm Maisie, and I like writing stories ever since I was little.
What kind of things do you write about usually?
We're writing about Grendel now in school, and it's like this monster that's trying to kill people about building a great hall for doing it in his swamp.
So a competition like this, you like the idea of that?
Yes.
Okay. And you got lots of ideas in mind?
Yeah, about a flood. A great British flood.
Okay, right, okay, we're off already.
My name's Thomas. My name's Connor.
Okay, do you like writing stories?
Yeah, whenever I'm bored, I just go on my laptop and write stories.
Any ideas at the moment for writing a story? An urgent message?
From the present to the future. I think the first story I ever wrote was about a few superheroes that started off as just children, but then something really bad happened to them, and then it made them superheroes.
So what do you make of the story that you've been told today? Is that an interesting story?
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah. Do you like a bit of history?
Yeah, it's quite fascinating, because you don't know what happened back then.
Is it a little bit inspiring to learn that and then write your own story?
Yeah, I might base something off that, so I'm not really sure.
That intrepid journey that he's taken?
Yeah.
Was called John Richard Laponnetiere, was given what they call a dispatch, and that is an account of the battle.
Well, we really believe that actually storytelling and knowing really good stories is actually at the heart of not just English but everything that we do. So it really inspires children to want to understand about history and geography and all the different topics that we learn about as well. So we tend to link our English in with all the other subjects, and we might have a focus on a story which they learn to tell off by heart just by writing down a few little notes or a few little pictures, act it out. We call that a story map, and that gives the children confidence in knowing the sentence structures to write about and how to create a really good story, maybe based on the model, but maybe innovating and moving away from that as well. So it gives them all of those skills, and they start to learn that right from the very youngest children, even in our nursery.
And I was watching them, actually. They seem to be really taking in that story. So, I mean, if they've got an interesting thing to learn about, I think it will inspire them, won't it?
Yes, definitely. I was really listening carefully, and he had fantastic vocabulary in that story, which would be really brilliant to unpick and explore. And he was using some wonderful techniques at building up the suspense, lots of questions. Are we going to get there in time? Am I going to be able to overtake my rival? Those sort of little questions that made you want to know what was going to happen next. And with the children, we would unpick all of that and help them to put those features into their stories and into their writing so that it could be as effective as that one.
And they've asked some really interesting questions, actually. They've asked about the story itself. How long does my story have to be? And, they've already got ideas. So, I mean, it's nice to think they want to have a go at this already.
Yeah, I think so. They were really thinking out of the box, weren't they? So we had everything from floods to nuclear war to aliens. I love the idea of a message from the past to the present. That's fantastic, isn't it? All that sort of idea of time travel, that would be really good.
Yeah, country to country as well, wasn't it? And I did say about the journey, and they were inspired by the actual history story itself. And I think the fact that the message was delivered to this area, that helps as well, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely. It does give a bit of a connection, and quite often we try and design our topics around things that have some sort of local interest, and we always do a big celebration of St Piran's Day around about that time and learn about that story. So it's always good to have a bit of a local interest as well as learning about the wider world.
So as a school, will you be now helping with their stories and checking on how the progress goes with the aliens and the countries?
Yes, definitely. I think we'll probably let them have a little bit of a go on their own, and then we'll work together at, trying to refine them and getting them good enough for the competition.
Some of the children and Sarah Hawker, the head teacher at Blisland Primary Academy, speaking to our reporter Karen Stewart about the Trafalgar Way writing project. If you want more information, go to the website. It's all the W's, thetrafalgarway.org/story competition 2018. The Trafalgar Way, all one word, all lowercase, thetrafalgarway.org/story competition 2018.